Are you tired from just life or is it something else? Because you know there's a difference between I stayed up late watching Netflix kind of tired and my bones feel like cement, my brain is buffering, and I need a nap after pouring water into a cup kind of tired. If menopause and midlife fatigue has you feeling like you're getting worse, guess what? You're not imagining. And there's a reason for it, and there's something you can do. Which is why today I am going to share with you why your fatigue might be getting worse during this phase of life, what your body is trying to tell you that it's missing, and a few small things you can start doing today that will not overwhelm your already full plate, so that you can begin to feel like your vibrant self again. I remember the day my energy was so low, it felt like my body was a car running on fumes without a gas station anywhere in sight. I was in the kitchen pouring myself a cup of tea, crying. I thought, Tracy, why are you being so dramatic? Turns out I wasn't being dramatic. I was going through the transitional phase of life, peri-menopause, that leads into menopause, without an instruction manual on what to do or an email notification that it was taking place. Let me reassure you, I don't care what anyone says. Menopause fatigue, that's real. I'm convinced that you can regain the vitality of your life once you understand what's happening during this phase of life, starting with the dynamic duo, estrogen and progesterone. They start fluctuating and taking major dips and dives during this phase of life. You know what else dips? Our energy, sleep, and sometimes our will to be around people. Estrogen and progesterone, those two hormones are important. They help regulate our cortisol and blood sugar. So when they're off, the smallest little stressor can feel like a full-blown crisis. That's why you might feel completely drained at the thought of sending one email, doing the laundry, or making dinner. So no, you're not being dramatic. And don't get me started on sleep, hot flashes, racing thoughts, and waking up at 3 a.m. like clockwork to go pee. Sounds familiar? Trying to sleep during menopause is like being a passenger in a car riding with a toddler poking you every 5 seconds. Annoying. This is what's happening. We get in bed, close our eyes, sort of kind of drift off to what we hope equates to sleep. But what's happening with all the hot flashes, the racing thought, and waking up to go pee is that our bodies are not getting into that deep restorative sleep where healing and energy reset happen. And here's the kicker. As women, it's been spoken, modeled, and taught to us that we simply need to push through, keep going. Show up for everybody but ourselves, because that's considered selfish, right? Hear me. Continuing with this overdoing it kind of behavior during this transition into menopause, that's going to backfire. I know that wake-up call for me came when I was in my mid-30s and I almost fell asleep while driving my sons. And shortly thereafter, receiving the diagnosis that my adrenals were not functioning optimal. Because I was out there living the Whitney Houston life. You know, I'm every woman. It's all in me. Anything you want done, I'll do it naturally. The adrenal thing, that wasn't the only diagnosis. There were other diagnoses. And the way those diagnoses were coming in, that was letting me know that my body was shutting down. And a wake-up call that I needed to stop all that Captain Save Everybody nonsense. I had to learn how to slow down. And speaking of slowing down, during this delicate phase of life, our nutrient absorption, that slows down too. The foods we've grown accustomed to eating to help fuel us, to give us that boost of energy, our guts may not be absorbing the nutrients as efficiently. Eating the wrong types and quantities of food will have us feeling like we're walking through molasses every day. So what can we do? What works for me may not work for you. Always consult with your healthcare provider for customized recommendations. Okay? I've been post-menopause for almost 10 years, and despite the struggles, it is important for us to remember and realize that this phase of life is less about decline and more about redesign. So let's do that, one small action step at a time. Sleep during this phase of life? Yeah, it's hard to get. I have a whole bedtime routine that helps me sleep like a teenager on the weekends, at least 4 out of 7 days of the week. I am continually updating my routine with best care practices. Let me know if that's something you care to hear about. Anywho, I credit magnesium glycinate for my ability to sleep deep. Even if I miss my bedtime window, I find that when I take magnesium glycinate, I get into REM sleep faster. 2. Flintstone chewables. I think that was the last time I consistently took a multivitamin. Now at 53, I can tell the difference a good multivitamin makes, especially those with a good quality and quantity of B vitamins. When I take a dose with breakfast and then another one at lunchtime, I'm not experiencing midday energy crashes. And here's a bonus. Come nighttime, I'm just enough tired to fall asleep without feeling wiped out. In exchange, I'm not waking up feeling groggy. 3. This one is going to sound counterproductive, but stick with me. I know your body is sore and tight and your mind is tired. So resting, that's needed, that's important. And so is exercise. So do both. See, loss of skeletal muscle mass increases our risk of cognitive decline. You know why that's important? Cognition happens in the brain. When our brains aren't receiving the proper amount of nourishment and stimulation, how are we expecting our brains to deliver the signals throughout the body to combat the things that drain our energy reserves? Exercise does that. Our brain needs it. And exercise does not have to be this long, drawn out thing. I'm doing 2 to 3 exercises most days of the week that takes me anywhere from 15 to 20 minutes. That's it. If you want me to share the workout routine I'm doing this month, let me know. Now you may be thinking, Tracy, thank you so much for the information. I appreciate it. But I'm still tired. I'm still exhausted. And my doctors are still scratching their head, not sure what to do. Love, my heart goes out to you. I felt the very same way until I figured out my personal energy drainer. So eat well, stay active.